Hello and welcome to VistaTalks. I'm your host, Simon Hodgkins. I want you to imagine for a moment that you're responsible for delivering millions of words of multilingual content every single year. You've probably got access to the latest AI models. They're fast, they're impressive, they promise significant productivity gains. But here's the question: which one of those do you actually choose? Most people think that that's the challenge. I'm going to suggest that maybe it isn't. That the real challenge is proving that whichever model you choose, it can consistently produce translations that your customers, regulators, internal stakeholders can actually trust. It's all about trusted AI. And that's where something called evaluation comes in, AI evaluations. And today I'd like to talk a little bit about why AI evaluation has become one of the most important disciplines in enterprise localization. I also want to touch on how Vistatec as a company is helping organizations move beyond experimenting with AI towards deploying it with confidence. When people talk about AI, the conversation usually centers on the technology itself. Which large language model is best? Which platform is the fastest? Which vendor has released the latest update? And while I agree those are all interesting discussions, they're not necessarily the questions that enterprise ask. The questions are much more practical. Can this model handle our technical terminology? Will it preserve our brand voice? Can it meet the regulatory hurdles and requirements? And importantly, will it perform equally well across 20, 50, or even 100 languages? And can we prove that? Now, at Vistatec, as a company, that's the starting point of the discussion. So rather than assuming one model is universally better than another, Vistatec's AI evaluation services can help compare AI-generated translation using customer-specific content, language pairs, and quality expectations. And that's the important distinction here. The goal isn't to find the world's best AI model. The goal is to identify the right AI solution for a particular organization, its content, and its business objectives. Because every organization is different. A life sciences company has a different quality requirement from, let's say, a software company. A luxury retailer communicates differently from a manufacturer. Legal documentation has different expectations from marketing campaigns. Now, one AI workflow rarely fits every situation. And that's why evaluation really does matter. And it's why evidence matters and probably matters even more right now. One aspect of evaluation, particularly from a Vistatec approach, is that it doesn't rely on a single measurement. There isn't one score that tells you whether AI is ready for production. Instead, automated evaluation methods are combined with structured linguistic assessment and business quality criteria. Each provides a different perspective. Automated metrics, they offer consistency and scale. Human experts contribute contextual understanding, terminology expertise, cultural awareness, and that all important ingredient, professional judgment. But together, combined, they help provide a much clearer picture than either approach could do on its own. And that's particularly valuable because AI can produce translations that sound completely natural, while still containing subtle issues that matter in a business context. A sentence may be fluent. It may even read better than, let's say, a literal translation. But if it changes product terminology, weakens regulatory wording, or shifts the tone of your brand, what you're actually doing is introducing business risk. And that's exactly why enterprise AI requires enterprise evaluation. Another important part of the process is benchmarking. Before a company can deploy AI across thousands or even millions of words, they need objective comparisons. How does one model perform against another? Does prompt engineering improve the results? Does a different workflow produce better consistency? Does quality change across language pairs? And these aren't the theoretical questions, they're operational questions. And the answers help your company to make informed decisions before the content reaches your customer. Evaluation also sits within something much broader. At Vistatec, again, it's part of an AI ecosystem that includes things like governance, of course, workflow design, prompt optimization, large language model management, and responsible AI adoption. Evaluation, ultimately, it isn't an isolated activity carried out once at the beginning of a project, and a lot of people fall a little bit foul to that approach. It's actually part of building an AI strategy that organizations can trust over time. One example of this broader approach is something like VistatecVerifier. It's a proprietary AI-powered quality assurance application that acts as an additional layer of quality control before content is delivered. So rather than replacing human reviewers, it helps identify potential issues that deserve that closer attention. It can flag concerns relating to terminology, relating to spelling, grammar, modality, and other linguistic characteristics, allowing localization specialists to then focus and zoom in with their expertise where it has the greatest impact. It's another example of AI supporting experts rather than replacing them. And I think that's one of the most important themes running through Vistatec's overall AI strategy. And that, trusted AI with human expertise, that human at the core of what we're doing. You'll hear that phrase a lot at Vistatec because it reflects a practical philosophy. AI certainly delivers speed. Nobody's arguing that. It delivers scale. But people remain responsible for judgment, oversight, and accountability. That isn't simply translation. It's about trust. And as AI becomes embedded across the enterprise, operations, across organizational teams and groups, people need confidence in every stage of the process. Confidence in the models that they're using, confidence in the workflows that they've designed, and confidence in the quality of the output. They also need confidence that their governance processes will continue to support changing business needs. And that's what AI evaluations really do provide. Not just scores, but confidence. So if there's one idea I'd leave you with today, it's probably this. The future of enterprise AI won't be decided by whichever model tops a benchmark this month. It will be decided by the organization, the company that can evaluate AI rigorously, decided by the organization, that can evaluate AI rigorously, measure performance objectively, and deploy it responsibly. Technology will always evolve. It always has. It probably always will. New models will arrive. New versions will arrive. Capabilities will improve. But one thing won't change. Businesses need evidence before they can trust AI at scale. And that's why AI evaluation, and this topic I felt was an important one to share. It's such an important capability. And it's why the teams at Vistatec continue to invest in proprietary evaluation services and quality assurance tools that help companies make informed decisions with confidence. Well, look, I hope that's been interesting. Thanks for joining me for this episode of VistaTalks, and make sure you join me again for some more interesting discussions with interesting people from all around the world. Thanks for listening.